Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So it's been a while since I uploaded a video and I've been meaning to upload for a while now. The last video I did was about my summer reading plans, and I've read a lot over the summer, and I know summer is not over. Today's only August 7th and we've still got quite a ways to go until summer is officially over. But something that I learned about myself is that TBRs are not for me. If there's a to-read list for something, I'm probably not going to follow it. I am such a mood reader, and what I felt like reading on the day that I was kind of planning out, excuse me, all the stuff that I was going to read for like summer reading at work, and for the reading rush, when it came time to read those things, I didn't want to read them anymore. So I have learned TBRs, not my strong suit. Also, I got extremely busy in working on things other than reading. I do have other hobbies, and one of them is cross-stitching. Oh, that's really, the windows there. Sorry. This is something I've been working on for a long time now. My friend's birthday was at the beginning of June, and I wanted to finish this for his birthday. Obviously, it's August 7th, and that didn't happen, but I finished it. I worked like crazy on it for a while. It's ready. I'm scared to ship it, though. He lives in North Carolina, and I don't want to put it in the mail. I'm a little nervous of what the Postal Service might do to a glass frame, but we're going to go visit family and friends in North Carolina in September, so I'll take it down to him then. So what I was going to talk about today in this video was what I did read for the last 2 months. I intend to do a monthly wrap-up video every month, but working on that, working at work, we are right in the middle of summer reading. So for anyone that works in a public library, summer is the crazy time, and it's been crazy at work lately. So I'm going to kind of do what I read in June and July today. It's not a whole lot, but then I'll do August and at the end of August, and so on and so forth. So I have a big stack here. I don't have all of the ones that I read in June and July here, but I do have some of them. So, oh gosh, I put them in a stack, and I put them upside down and lopsided and weird. And so, okay. So first, in June, I read Gunpowder Green. This is the third book. It's the second book in the Tea Shop Mystery series by Laura Childs. This is actually, so far, you'll see I've read a few more in the past few months. This one is my favorite book of the series that I've read so far. I give this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this one. This one, the pacing felt faster. I was already familiar with the characters. I'm sorry if you can hear that. There's a big jet going over, a helicopter right now. But we already knew the characters. We already had established place and setting, and the murder happened really quickly. It was a really compelling murder. I loved the wrap-up of everything. This was my favorite in the series so far. 5 out of 5 stars. Then I read, why did I put them in this order? The first book in a new mystery series to me, Hearse and Buggy by Laura Bradford. And this is about Claire Weatherly. She has gotten divorced. She's moved in with her aunt, who runs a B&B in Heavenly, Pennsylvania, and she's opened up like an Amish antiques furniture shop. And she has a Amish girl who works with her at the store, and all of the stores kind of in the row of shops that she works in are Amish owned, and most of the town are Amish people. And a murder happens, and they kind of are looking at the Amish people like, did they do it? You know, who's responsible? Why would anyone want to target a sweet, honest Amish store like this? And so I thought it was really good. There was a love triangle, an unexpected love triangle in this one, so I'm really excited to see what becomes of that. I ended up giving this one, I think, about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'd round it up to a 4. I give it a 4 on GoodReads. But I liked it, and I am interested in carrying on with the series. I probably won't purchase the rest of these. I'll probably end up borrowing them from the library. I did like it. It's just not one I am like super eager to have in my collection. Oh, here we go again. Then I read Brownies and Broomsticks. This was the first book in the Magical Bake Shop series by Bailey Cates. And this one is set in Savannah. Our main character, Katie, has moved from Ohio. She is also dealing with a bad relationship she's leaving behind. And she's moving to a new town. She's opening up a new bakery with her aunt and her uncle. And just trying to, do so many new things in her life. She also discovers, ta-da, she has magic powers. She's a witch. She comes from a line of witches. And as if she didn't have enough on her plate to deal with, now she has to deal with her powers. And also with a murder that happens in the bakery, and her uncle gets kind of accused of being the perpetrator, and she has to clear his name. So Katie's got a lot on her plate. This was a really good book. I liked it a lot. I think I also gave this one about a 3.75, I'd say. I bought a couple more in the series. I do have them in my collection now, and I am eager to read them. I liked it a lot. I would probably round it up to a 4 out of 5 stars. First books in series are kind of hard for me to give a 5-star to because they were establishing so much, and I think that's what happened here. And probably with this one too. I think now that we know the characters and we know the place, I'm going to like the next few books in both of these series very much. And then I read on my Kindle A Scone to Die For. This is the first book in the Oxford Tea Room Mysteries by H.Y. Hannah. This one was in England. There was a really rude customer in her tea shop, and he was found dead. And there was also a mystery of a missing cat, and I liked that part of the book, but I didn't like the rest of it very much. I don't know if maybe it was the English setting. I'm not familiar with England. I've never been there. Or something about it was kind of lacking. I loved the cover. I really thought I was going to love this book a lot, but I didn't end up loving it. I gave it 3 stars out of 5. I think that was kind of generous, but I'm probably not going to continue on with this series. If you're a cozy mystery lover, I think you should check it out, though. I think you might enjoy it. It just wasn't for me, personally, and I can't really place my finger on why. I just didn't love it. But the writing was good. It was a cute premise. It just wasn't for me. And that's okay. They're not all for me. And then next, I read one of the Murder, She Wrote books. I read A Slaying in Savannah by Jessica Fletcher and Donald Bain. I don't even know what number this is in the series. There's so many of them, and I just bought a lot of them on eBay, and I just pick them up every once in a while. You really don't have to read these in order. I'm a stickler for reading other books in order, but this series you can pick up anywhere. And like Gunpowder Green was my favorite so far in the Tea Shop Mysteries, this is my favorite so far in the Murder, She Wrote mystery series. This one kind of had a ghost story going on with it. I flew through this one. I think I read it in a day, maybe a day, and the next morning I finished it up, but I really liked this one. I gave it 4 stars on GoodReads. I'd say probably 4.5 out of 5 for this one. It was my favorite Murder, She Wrote so far, and reading a lot of Savannah stuff lately. I don't know what that is. I have no idea why. It just happened that way. Next up, I was feeling really beachy. I was feeling really summery, so I read The Rumor by Ellen Hildebrand. This was my first book by her that I read, and I tore through this book. This is not something that I would normally, well, that's not true. I would normally read something like this. It was like watching reality TV. It was just that kind of guilty pleasure. It's hot outside. I just want to sit inside with iced tea and read kind of book. And I loved it. I ended up giving it 5 stars on GoodReads. It's not going to win a Pulitzer or anything like that, but if you're looking for a light and fluffy summer read, Ellen Hildebrand is it. I've got a couple of hers checked out from the library, and I purchased some more of her books, and I'm excited to read more. This one was very good. Then I read Aunt Dimity and the Duke. That is the second book in the Aunt Dimity Paranormal Mystery series by Nancy Atherton. I was having trouble with this one when I first started it. And I had read the first one, Aunt Dimity, Introducing Aunt Dimity, or maybe Aunt Dimity's Death. I had read it last summer. And I was thinking to myself, am I not remembering this book? What is going on? And then I read on GoodReads, someone said that this was, I think it was Lizzie Faye from Lizzie Faye Loves Books, said this is, the second one is a prequel. And then it clicked in my head as, oh, okay. I know exactly what's going on. I was able to follow it. I thought it was super cute. Also set in England, liked it a lot better than A Scone to Die For. So maybe it's not the English setting that didn't do it for me for that. I don't know what it was. But I really like Aunt Dimity. I like her series so far. I did purchase the first 2 books as a bind-up, so there's 2 books in here. And I probably don't think I'll be purchasing the rest of these. I'll probably get them from the library. There's just so many. There's so many in this series. It's so ongoing. And I just don't think that I'm going to purchase the rest from the series. It's good. I gave the second one, Intimidate the Duke, 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. And I'm definitely going to continue the series. Excuse me. Then on audio, I listened to Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered, the definitive how-to guide by Karen Kilgariff and Georgia Hardstark. These ladies are the host of My Favorite Murder podcast. I was an early listener of the podcast. I've been a fan for a long time now. This was kind of their collected biography, and it honestly felt like I was listening just to a really, really long episode of the podcast featuring Paul Giamatti. If you're a fan of the podcast, if you like true crime, I am so sorry, I've got a yuck in my throat. I would say pick this book up. It was really good. It was really cute. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. My June 2019 Book of the Month Club pick was Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane. And I read this one in June when I got it. It's really hyped right now. A lot of people seem to really be enjoying it. I see it a lot on Bookstagram and on BookTube, but it didn't do it for me. I didn't really like this book. I'm kind of looking at my GoodReads page. I have that pulled up as I'm going through this, looking at what I rated everything. And I gave it 3 stars, and I actually think that was pretty generous. I'm probably going to end up changing, I just changed it, honestly, to 2 stars. I didn't like this book very much. I got to the end, and it's a long one. You can see I got to the end of this book, and I was just thinking, so what? 388 pages, and I'm like, okay. I think I missed something with it. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. 2 stars. 2 out of 5 stars. I just didn't like it. It's okay. They're not all going to be winners. Then I read something I did really like. I read the 3rd book in the Tea Shop Mystery series by Laura Childs, Shades of Earl Grey. I liked this one a lot. This one deals more with like a cat burglar, a jewel thief that's stalking around Charleston, and I really liked that take on it. There was a murder, there was a death, but it focused more on the deaths that were happening, and I thought that was a really, really fresh take on a cozy mystery. I really enjoyed this one. I liked it a lot. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. My July book club book of the month pick was Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I flew through this book. This was one of those books where I had to know. I had to know what is going to happen next, what is going to be the outcome, how are they going to wrap this up. What's going to happen? I think I read it in 2 sittings. It was one of those books where my husband would come in and say, hey, do you want to go swimming? Do you want to go to the pool? Do you want to go down to the beach? Do you want to go get some ice cream? And I was like, I can't. I have to read this book. I have to know what's going to happen. I stayed up late to finish it. I loved it. I would say that this is tied with Daisy Jones and the Six, another book club book of the month pick for my favorite books of the year so far. These 2 are in top place right now. I loved this book. I cannot wait to read more Riley Sager. I will probably end up purchasing them. I know that Lock Every Door is an add-on in Book of the Month Club, so I might end up adding it on next month. And I loved it. It reminded me, I told a friend at work that it reminded me a lot of like a Hitchcock thriller, kind of like the suspense is building and building, and it's set in this really gothic, creepy old building in Manhattan with gargoyles. And when I read it and I pictured it in my head, I pictured it in black and white. I don't know why. Like, this is a super colorful, very pink and purpley cover here, but you can see there's kind of shadows, and as I was picturing the story in my head, it was always in black and white. I don't know. I liked it a lot. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. One of my favorites so far this year. Next up, I read a graphic novel for one of the prompts. This was one that I think I said I was going to read, like one of the only ones I said I was going to read in my TBR video. I ended up reading it for the graphic novel prompt in the summer reading challenge for my local library, and that was Anne of Green Gables, the graphic novel by Mariah Marsden. I thought it was super cute. It just really skims the highlights of the Anne of Green Gables, the first book in the series. It doesn't go into a deep dive. I read it in one quick, 10-minute sitting. It was very adorable. It would be a great way to introduce somebody to Anne of Green Gables, a young reader who wasn't familiar with the story, hadn't seen the movie, hadn't read the book. This was a really cute book, a really cute adaptation of one of my favorite books of all time. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And then another book that I said I was going to read that was on my list, I think one of the prompts was reread a favorite, and I wanted to get back into the Hannah Swenson series by Joanne Fluke. I had previously read The Chocolate Chip Murder a few years ago, but I didn't remember any of it. None of it was familiar. Usually if I reread something, even if it's something that I read in childhood, pieces of it kind of stick out in my mind. I'm like, oh, I remember this scene, or I remember this person. None of it rang true with me with this book. I don't know what happened the first time I read it, and it wasn't that long ago. It was like maybe 7-8 years ago. I don't know. Nothing stuck out in my head. I really enjoyed it though, and I ended up watching the Hallmark Channel movie version of the book, and I really liked that too. And I'm definitely going to continue on with this series. I checked it out from the library. That's why I don't have a physical copy I'm holding up. So I'll probably continue to get the books from the local library. But I liked this one a lot. It was a fresh book. Nothing about it familiar. It was like reading it for the first time, even though it was a reread. 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read another library book. It was set in North Carolina. That's where I'm from, so I picked it up. I've only read a few of Nora Roberts' books before in the past, so I thought I might like it. I did not like it. I didn't even really finish it. I think I got 100 pages from the end, and I was like, I'm just done with these characters. I'm done with this book. I'm just done. And there's too much that I want to read that I'm not going to continue on with a book if I'm not enjoying it. And that was Undercurrents, Nora Roberts' most recent book. The cover is beautiful. I love these colors, but I just didn't care. I quit caring about the characters. And that's something I've noticed with the other Nora Roberts books that I've read, is the story veers so many ways. And I'm on one track, and then it shoots another way, and then it goes another way, and I'm like, but I'm still on that first track. What? Her type of storytelling doesn't work for me. I'm in the minority. She's one of the best-selling authors of all time, but it just didn't work for me. So I don't know if I'll be reading any more of her books in the future. I've given 4 or 5 a try now. They're not my favorites, so I probably won't continue on reading her in the future. Then I read something I'm definitely going to continue reading, and that is Classified as Murder, the Cat in the Stacks Book 2 by Miranda James. I love Diesel. Diesel reminds me of my cat, which you still haven't seen. I promise, guys, I have a cat. I really, really do. I have a pet cat, and he's somewhere. He's sleeping right now. He is a night cat, so he's only up at night to bug me and keep me awake, and sleeps during the day, and that's what he's doing right now. This is the second book in the series, so it didn't have that first book slump that I have with first in the series. I'm a librarian. I have a Maine Coon cat that's gray. This is a story about a librarian who has a Maine Coon cat who is gray. I love this series so much. I even bought the 3rd book recently. Can't wait to get to it. I'm definitely going to continue this series. I'm going to continue buying and collecting these books as well. I guess I should talk a little bit about what happens in this one. So in this one, Charlie, the librarian, is kind of working on a rare books collection, a private collection of one of the town eccentrics. And while he's there, like, he's been hired because somebody has been stealing and tampering with the collection. So this guy has kind of hired Charlie to catalog the collection, see what's missing. And while he's there, the man is murdered. The owner of the collection is murdered. And in his old antebellum house, he has a cast of characters, his family that lives with him. They are weird people, like, weird. Like, they're out there. And so at one point or another, we suspect pretty much every single person in that family of being the murderer. And I was just like, who is going to do it? I have to say, I loved the reveal in this one. My husband's not a big reader, and when he does read, he's not going to read cozy mysteries. So I had to tell him the reveal in this one, and we still goof about it. I read it when, like, July 23rd, so not too long ago, but we still goof each other about the reveal in this one, and it's just very cute. And in this one, Charlie's son comes back into the picture and moves back in with him after he's had some personal troubles in his life. And so he moves in with dear old dad, and they kind of butt heads a little bit. And he brings a dog with him, and Diesel and the dog become friends. Very cute. I love this series. I loved this book. I'd say 4.75 out of 5 stars for this one. And then I read number 4 in the Tea-Shop Mystery Series, The English Breakfast Murder by Laura Childs. I didn't love this one as much as I loved Gunpowder Green, by far my favorite. I didn't love this one as much as I loved the one previous to this one. What was that one? Shades of Earl Grey. But I did like it. I like these books a lot, enough that I'm going to keep purchasing them and reading this series. It's a long series. I think it's in its 20s. Like, there's at least 20 books in the series now. But it is really good. It's really cute. This murder, Theo, our main character, finds a body at night in the ocean while she is working with a turtle rescue, which I love. I love that. And it happens to be one of her friends, Drayton, a co-worker of hers. It's a friend of his, a very close friend. So it's a very personal murder to Theo, and it wasn't as good as the other two, but I did really, really like it. A solid 4 out of 5 stars to this one. Can't wait to continue on with this series. I love it. And Laura Childs has a couple other series that I really want to try out. She has like a scrapbooking mystery series and a Cackleberry Club mystery series, which I guess has something to do with eggs. I have no idea, but if they're as good as these, I'm going to try them out and read them. They seem to be very popular. I see them circulate a lot at work, so nothing else, I bet it'll be interesting. The last book I read I guess this really doesn't even count because I finished it in August. So I'll probably save this last one for my August wrap-up, and I'll let you know what I read. I started in July, but I finished it August 2nd, so I'm going to count it for August. And plus, I've already told you about way too many books here that you've already seen, so we'll save some for August. Hi guys, it's me again. Different background, different room of the house. I'm actually in my office now, working on editing that video I just filmed, and I started rambling about what I'm reading now, and I realized I had rambled way too long about way too much, and so I'm not going to tell you what I'm reading now. If you care to know what I'm reading now, you can follow me on GoodReads. I'll be glad to be your friend. I will leave a link down below so you can follow me there. I'll also leave a link to Twitter and Instagram, etc. So I didn't really have an ending to the video because I was just rambling. So I figured I'd come in now while I was editing and end it and say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy reading!